Well, it's great to be back again. I'm here in Portugal. It's been a year since I was here last summer. I was supposed to get down in springtime to test some lures, but unfortunately with the coronavirus that wasn't possible. So I've made it down here now for a little trip, and basically I'm hoping to test some lures out. We've been developing a few nice shapes over the winter. We've got the Glide, which is slowest sinking lure on the Samson range. It's a real sort of slow retrieve lure, which I think is going to be ideal for early mornings, evenings, or situations when you want a slower retrieve lure. At night, I think it would be really good. So I don't know if I get a chance to test it at night, as I do most of my fishing in the daytime. We've also got the Bomb, which is a real long casting lure, and it's got a really nice side-to-side action with the nose. So yeah, that's going to be interesting to test out on the bass. It looked really good, they all did, and I'm just hoping there's some bass around this summer, because you never know in the summer. It can be really hit or miss. And yeah, we've developed a few new tweak baits. We've got the normal one, which is going to be the medium sink, which we've had, and there's a slow sink version, which is obviously for shallower, slower retrieval in general. And then there's a fast sink version, which I think is going to be good off the ledges, deeper spots, but I'm going to use it possibly over a few of the shallower spots when I want to get out further, or somewhere with a really faster retrieve. So yeah, hopefully there's some bass around, and I'm going to get a chance to test them all out. It's the first time back in a year. I was here a year ago. I was going to come down in spring, but unfortunately with the coronavirus I couldn't. So we've been testing some new shapes this winter, and it's the first time I've got to come down and actually test them on bass. Okay, summer's not the best time for the bass fishing, but the last 2 years haven't been bad at all. Managed to get a good double figure last year. I think it was about, not sure, it was about, I can't remember how big it was, but it was a decent double figure, and a couple just very close. So don't often get that many doubles, unfortunately, in the summer, but you never know. They're definitely the odd one about, for sure. Now, there's a pretty big set. Beautiful evening tonight. There's like no wind at all. I'm just trying out the new Bomb. I've only been testing it this winter around on the lakes, and it looks really nice, so it's the first chance to actually test it on the bass. So it looks really good this winter, and I'm sure it's going to be a really effective lure. I've been so excited to get down here. Trip was cancelled in spring with the corona situation, so I was just lucky I could get down, really. It's a slower retrieve lure than some of the other lures like the Candle. It's got a lovely action, got kind of a real nice side-to-side action with the nose. It casts really well. So I'm looking forward to this little trip I've got. See if I can put it into action and get a few bass on these lures. So it's ideal over this kind of terrain, really. The swells have gone down. The swells are quite small, even for the summer. There's always some swell around here. But with the offshore winds, they've gone right down. I've been trying this. I've had about, I don't know, 12 or 15 casts, and it's looking really good. As I'm testing lures, I really want to chop and change them. Change some different colours. like not a breath of wind, which is really rare for here. Oh, got a hit. I'm on. I just slowed it down over those rocks. Let's go around that rock. It is a bit rocky on the inside here. Just try and keep that. No, if I can just get him over these rocks. He's over those rocks, just hope he stays on now. So I'm going to bring him up. Big set coming in now, it's a good bass. A really nice one. There he is, that's a good bass. Okay, so first real session on the bass, testing out the new lures, and they got a really nice hit, sort of about 3/4 of the way in, around the real rocky area. So I was using this new bomb lure, an airbrushed version, and yeah, I've been testing it all winter, as I was saying, and I really thought it looked good, and I knew it would catch some bass, so really pleased to actually get it into some action. So yeah, lovely catch that. Okay, that was a lovely fish there. It was a really good start to the trip. So I was just about to swap the lure for the glide. Not that there's anything wrong with that lure, I just want to chop and change the lures and just test as many different lures as I can. And so I've got the glide on now, the Stealth Glide. This is the slowest sinking lure on the range. You just can work that rod tip side to side. This one's the 28 gram version. So I thought it would be also ideal for these conditions here. Maybe it's a little bit big waves tonight for it here. I think this is more suited to smaller waves, but I'm going to give it a few casts and see how it goes. So this works on the top and just below. It's a very slow sinking lure, so you can retrieve it slower, obviously. Really different action to the bomb entirely, but I think they'll both be effective on their day. That's nice, right round that rock. So it's got a nice side-to-side action. Just work the rod tip side to side. Hooked into a nice bass there, just took the glide. Just hope it stays on. It's the first real time using this lure. I was just wondering how it would compare to, there it is, it's over, how it compared to this new bomb. It's only a small one, but anyway, as I say, a bass is a bass. Oh, it's just staying on. Okay, so I swapped over to the new glide and had a hit on that, so I'm really pleased. So two of the new shapes have already produced a couple of bass. This is a small one, but I'm still pleased. It just shows that you know, that they're effective. So yeah, see if there's hopefully a couple more about. Okay, so it's a really nice start to the trip. Can relax a little bit now. The first two lures I've tested, the glide, Stealth Glide and the bomb, have both caught. So the third lure that I wanted to test might cast well as well for a really slow sinking lure. This is the tweak bait. This is the slow sink version. So the one we've had for the last few years that I've really done well on, and it's been good all over the world really, has been the medium sink tweak bait. So I wanted to work on a slow sink version, It's just going to be probably better over those really shallow grounds, or when you just want to bring it through slower. So that's what we've done this year, is working on some slower retrieve lures, just to add to the range. And those first two I'm really pleased with, and I'll definitely be using them a lot, not just for bass. But it's still really shallow here, so I've got to be careful no matter what, because this is a subsurface lure, and it's just rocks everywhere. But it's got a really nice action, this one. I tested this again through the winter, just getting it all right, how we wanted it to work. I mean, it's not as long casting as some of the lures, of course, but it still casts pretty good. It's certainly not full of bass tonight, but I know there's a couple about. There's one. I've got one. Flipping heck. I can get this in, that'll be great. That'll be the triple. This is a bit better than the last one, that's for sure. So after testing this winter, go around that rock, please. Ooh, I think I managed to get him round. Where is he? Oh, he's just got round. He's shaking his head like crazy. So this is a 21 or 22 grams. This lure. If I can land this one. Okay, so I'm really pleased with that. The third lure I'm testing on this trip is the slow sink tweak bait, and yeah, hooked up on that. It's as a bass sort of middle size between the others. Okay, I've put on a glide. This one's got like a chartreuse kind of back to it. It's a colour that a friend of mine I met out in the US, he really loved this colour. And I said, as soon as we get the airbrush lures, I was going to try it. And so I've never really used this kind of colour out in Portugal. There's a nice big set came through there. So I'm just going to give it let's wind up the slack. I'm just going to give it a slow retrieve through. Oh. Something small hit it. It's tiny, whatever it is. But that slow retrieve worked. Tiny bass, I think that's, yeah, it's the smallest bass I ever caught. Check that out. That is tiny, look at that. The chartreuse worked. I'll have to tell Vaughan about that. Really lovely session there, beautiful evening. Ended up with 4 fish, tiny little bass at the end, but it's got dark now, so I've got to move it quick.